Hello guys and welcome to Baron and Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. So today we're going to go through the four heroes that were released today. Not released, but revealed. Revealed, gotta say it correctly, they were revealed. And I've gone through a little bit about the heroes themselves. Not so much the backstory, but more like their effects and how I feel that they can be used in groups and what they bring to the table. And you know that you've done the right thing when you start being like you want to do content and you tell the guild, and then the guild, the guild leader in this case, which is Rivalzor, decides to give me this banner. So of course I gotta slam it up as the background when I start doing the video. Aside from that, I also want to thank DonNuca, because he was the one that provided me with these images so that I could make this content today for you guys. As a courtesy to him, I'm going to add his YouTube channel in my description. So just go in there and click on his link, go over to him, look at his content. He has a lot of amazing content. So click on the link, go onto his channel and have a look around and subscribe. That goes for both of us. Subscribe to me and subscribe to him. Together, we help the community and we want to help you guys. So subscribe and follow us. Thank you so much. Now, onwards to the heroes. Okay, so here guys, we have Lesion, and I have some thoughts about him really, mostly because his ability, well, he throws a Dew Mine at the current target, exploding with poison, damaging all enemies in a large radius. Remember, large radius. This is the same one that Gridlock throws out, so it's the same radius. It does damage for 100% of his ability power and then roots the enemy in place for 5 seconds. That means they can't move, they're stuck. If the target is about 50% health, they push through the pain, causing them to bleed instead for 100% ability power for 5 seconds. If it's below 50% health, they remove the poison and instead blinding. So it's a lot of stuff happening with this hero. I'm not so impressed about the passive ability per se, unless you're obviously fighting against teams such as the has Gridlock or Tachanka, where root is very big and then they also cause you to bleed. Which is good though, because he's immune to it, which means he will take no damage from it. So it's always one way to say nope. But the mine itself I'm interested in because it does root. So if you do play with Tachanka or Gridlock, this is going to help a lot, because Gridlock receives a shield for 150% ability power when anything is rooted by any source. So if he does root, that's wonderful, she receives a shield. If Tachanka does root, she receives a shield. So here's another player that you can use for root. So I think that's why he's part of the Rainbow Six. He's part of a different team though, Rainbow Six Green, well R6 Green as they say. However, in Territory War, if people get him high enough, he might be a contender to play in that part really, mostly because Gridlock will then be a really tanky hero, to be honest. He'll take a lot of damage and just consistently keep on beating on. So my thought for Lesion is that there is a lot of possibility that he will actually have more screen time, so to say, in Territory War down the line together with Tachanka and Gridlock, since they seem to be the most current members that we use in Territory War. So let's see what happens in the future, but those are my thoughts anyway, that he would work really well with Gridlock and Tachanka. And if you guys actually do play test this, you get Lesion high enough, please let me know how it worked out, because I'm always interested in sharing your thoughts and your ideas, at least on this point. I'm going to move on to another hero now, and we'll see how that one goes. Okay, so we have Sarah Fisher, who's also among the heroes to be released down the line. And I looked at her ability, Sonar Shock Combo. Stealth for 5 seconds, use sonar to find the lowest health enemy and fire a shotgun bullet at the target, stunning them for 3 seconds and damaging them for 200% ability power. And then she continues by synchronized fire on the target along with your closest ally for 5 seconds. That's pretty good. Just read the book, that's really good. So basically you have a walker. So she does the same thing a walker, but she finds the lowest health, shoots, stunned for them for 3 seconds if they don't die. Otherwise, obviously, they would have died. But then also, if it doesn't die, which is very common actually when you have to do damage, they have a little sliver of health left. But she continues by synchronizing fire together with one more ally. So I suppose when you start this ability, you will most likely make sure that that hero dies. Her passive ability, which is Echelon, which is 5 seconds after receiving a shield, she enters stealth for 5 seconds. So whenever any ally enters stealth, grant them 100% armor penetration and potency for 5 seconds. Now this opens up the door to a lot of heroes, but also some problems that I don't think a lot of people think about. I've noticed them myself, and I'm sure you will remember them now when I point them out. But when you play with a hero that enters stealth, especially in Territory War, when you have to move your heroes around a lot, my mistake was that I would move a hero that's damaged to the back, naturally, and then I would move a hero to the front. The problem was that this hero entered stealth, which then meant that they wouldn't target that hero anymore and they would instead kill the hero behind. So just keep that in mind if you guys, you know, when you swap your heroes around, to make sure that the hero you move forward isn't about to enter stealth, because then the hero you were trying to save will die anyway. So that's just some thoughts. But for people who do free to play, I would really suggest that you guys get Sarah Fisher, mostly because she's going to be a very good hero to have in your deck, so to say, when you play. The bonus then that I like is that you get 100% armor penetration when anyone goes into stealth. So immediately people that come up is obviously all the wolves with their passive ability when it comes, not passive, but when it comes to their squad perk. I mean, then they can go in. So one would go into stealth, that one will get a lot of damage. And then down the line you also have Caveira, who goes into stealth. You have Fury going into stealth. Fury also throws a canister to give someone stealth when they're too damaged, which in turn will give them a lot of damage. So there's a lot of things to think about. But yeah, I really like Sarah Fisher, and it's probably one of the heroes that I'm going to start aiming for to get very high. And as a free-to-play player out there, obviously I'm not free-to-play, I am pay-to-play off and on. But yeah, for people who do free-to-play, really aim for Sarah Fisher, because I think she's going to be a good hero when it comes to your deck. So try and get her as soon as possible. So when the event comes out, make sure you at least spend 2 refreshes a day just to make sure that you get enough intel to move her around. That's my thought on Sarah Fisher, a good hero, and I'm happy that she's in the game. Alright, next one up is Archer for 4th Echelon, and I'll go straight down to his active ability, which is Portable EMP. Basically, it activates a portable EMP aimed at the current target, silencing all enemies in a large cone for 3 seconds. Any struck enemies currently targeting Archer are instead stunned and damaged for 100% ability power. And his passive ability is after each 20% health that he loses, he receives a shield for 75% ability power. And then 5 seconds after receiving a shield, he quickly goes into stealth, blending into the shadows and blinding any enemies currently targeting you, or him in this case, for 2 seconds. Unless they actually mean all, but I'm thinking just the ones targeting him. So my first thought was the portable EMP, because I love it. I love anything that has silence nowadays, because you don't actually have an EMP you can, you know, throw on anyone. So moving him to a lane and then using that one is pretty awesome, because then you silence everything. So I mean, a large cone. I mean, you've seen Coda when she uses her cone, you've seen Emma when she uses the cone, or Buck when he uses his shotgun. So that's a large cone, which basically means if you put him in the top lane, middle, or bottom lane, he will actually hit everybody in that lane. And if you're lucky, you could hit members in the back, probably in the middle lane, most likely. But I like it because, as I said, silence is something that we don't have a lot of. So I like the fact that it's back in the game in terms of the heroes. So I like that. And if you move him to the front, right before you activate, like you move him to the front and then you activate his ability, then technically all the enemies will be targeting him, which means they'll all be stunned and they will all receive 100% ability power damage. So keep that in mind, that when you activate him, bring him to a lane where you really want to have, you know, to slay some heroes. Move him up and then activate it. Aside from that, I don't find him to be that more useful in other terms. I mean, he's really doable just on his own with any other team that you put in. Of course, he's good the fact that whenever he receives a shield, he gains into stealth. So that's always good if you run with Anna, or if you run with Flycatcher, or anything like that that uses shields, then this team would be really good. So that's all I'm going to say about Archer. I do like the portable EMP, and I'm going to try and rank him up myself as far as I can. But yes, I do like the portable EMP, mostly because it's sort of a little bit like a fix-it. They target you, they take damage, or like Arrow does, for instance, the same thing. But in this case, you move him to the front, you make sure they shoot at him, because then they're targeting him, and then you activate it, stun the whole lane, and then you buy yourself some time. So that's what I like about him. But that's all I'm going to say about this hero for now. Okay guys, this one is a bit special. It's Clash, and I gotta be honest, initially when it was released, when they released the 4th Echelon members and Lesion, I was like, oh god, they're gonna drop another legendary. I'm not even having enough time to catch up with the other ones. And then they drop Clash as the legendary. Personally, I haven't played that much on Rainbow Six Siege, so I don't know a lot of the heroes. Well, I know most of them, but not all of them, obviously. But this one I've seen in YouTube, like when they were releasing the heroes. So I saw the artwork and I really liked it. So when she came out as a legend, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna spend so much gold now. But yeah, I do like this one, and I have to say her abilities aren't that bad actually. They're pretty good, and I mean she's a legendary, so they sort of works up. But initially, it's the active ability, which is CC Shield. So she deploys the CC Shield, granting a negative 50% damage for 6 seconds, and each second she will fire the shield taser at the current target, which is most likely, you know, the first rank that she fires against, damaging all enemies in a large cone for 25% ability power and silencing all of them for 3 seconds. So remember, she does this every second for 6 seconds, and she deals 25% ability power. That's 150% ability power together. Throw in Anna into the mix, and I don't know, the numbers just go up. So yeah, I think she's going to be really good. I don't know too much about her health or anything like that, or like survivability in general. But again, I do like anything that has silence, and again, she has a large cone. So furthermore, she has crowd control. So whenever an enemy receives a control effect, and a silence is a control effect, taunt them for 5 seconds and then apply a shield for 100% ability power. That's pretty good. And that's her passive ability. So, and that's also good if you have other heroes in the team that does like control effects, for instance, like not like specifically taunt, but let's say they throw out root or anything else like that, that they come out like bleed, stuff like that controls, then she taunts enemies for 5 seconds. So I like that. That's a good ability. And then shields everywhere. So I do enjoy that. But yes, the main thing is the shield, and I think that this hero can go really far in terms of tankiness. Again, I don't know the stats that she has, but I feel that she can go pretty good just alone with her active ability and just survivability. So if she takes a lot of damage, obviously bring it back into the further back ranks, and then you can just deploy it. Because it doesn't say that she has to be in the front rank, so she can be in the back when she takes damage, and then you just have her there in the back and she just deals damage. And I like the fact it's a cone. It means that it's the first rank, second rank, and then the third rank. So she'll hit everybody in that lane where you decide to put her. So do keep that in mind when you do positioning, that she hits everybody in the lane. So I have to admit, a lot of the heroes being released now have a lot of abilities in terms of either it's a large blast like you have on Lesion. Archer then uses his EMP, which is a large cone, like, and this one is also a large cone. They both silence. And then you have Sarah, who in her own way works a little bit like Walker. So yeah, there's a lot of good heroes being dropped out now, and I'm looking forward to see what else the developers are gonna give us in the future. So the heroes you're getting now, guys, they're really good. Don't miss out. Use those refreshes. Try and get as hard, like, you know, as high as you can, you know, without breaking the wallet. Good luck, guys.